Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I have to tell you, it's a Friday. I'm off from work today. It's been very gloomy and very rainy, and I have had like no energy whatsoever today. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon and I've barely really gotten off the bed. I've just been listening to music and reading and having tea and whatever, but and I only have to go I have to go to Walgreens later on to pick up a prescription later on, but that's the only thing I have to do today. So, but I am really overdue for another Hawaiian record collection video. So I thought, let me have some coffee, wake myself up, and kick out another video. Now, I'm not sure how far I'm going to get in this one because looking at what's up today, I feel like I have a lot to say about some of these records. So we'll see how far we get. But first up, I'm going to show you, we're going through the letter B, and I'm up to the first of what are called budget label records. I'm not going to go into great detail about that. If you're interested in what that is, you can Google it. They're called budget records, drugstore records. I'm very, very fond of them in all genres. I love them because well, as far as the Hawaiian music goes, what they did, they had, I believe, four separate sessions with 4 different groups of musicians, one of which is a full orchestra, the other 3 are steel guitar groups, and I think one of them is Speedy West. I'm not sure, I don't know, but I think so. Anyway, they were contracted or whatever to record these like 12 songs each or so, and then on all of the different budget labels you'll find these 4 different releases, and you'll find them under different names by different artists because they would make things up, crazy names for the song titles, crazy names for the artists. They just would make it up, and then they would rehash them and issue what were really compilations, like 2 or 3 from this session, 2 or 3 from that session, 2 or 3 from another session, and release it as something else, like and crazy titles, and sort of, you know, like Tropical Hawaiian Vacation by Lonnie Luke Lehua and his, you know, surfboarders or something. And if it was a budget label and you kind of are familiar with the music, you'd go, oh, I know what this is. This is one of those budget labels. So first up is budget label today. This is called The Big Sound, The Heart of Hawaii. I do like this cover with the lovely auburn-haired native. You know, we do have tons of native redheads. I'm kidding. But I love this picture. And actually, this picture does resurface in several other record covers as well later on, you'll see. Now, The Big Sound is one of those sessions that I spoke of, and it is a full orchestra, very dark sounding. I really like it. It's very strange. It's like the darkest version of Blue Hawaii I've ever heard in my life. And this is one of those releases. Now, Pirouette and Spinorama actually released it under the same title, The Big Sound, Heart of Hawaii. This is an interesting cover too, like pineapple leaves, I think it is. I sort of like the Spinorama label too. I know, well, they had a couple different labels, but this was one of them. I don't know. I think it like hypnotizes you as you spin it or something. I don't know. But anyway, this and this are exactly the same record with the same title. However, I'm going to show you now the other full releases of this recording, other names on the budget label. So, The Big Sound, Heart of Hawaii. This album, if you come across it, Lush Strings, Mood of Manakura on Custom Records, is exactly the same record. Exactly the same songs, The Big Sound. On Crown Records, who were probably the first, actually, I think, I don't know, Sounds of a Thousand Strings. On the label they say Sounds of a Thousand Strings, Robert Cruson conducting the Sounds of a Thousand Strings and the Voices of Hawaii. But you know, whether Robert Cruson was actually the person that did this, I really don't know. But this is the same album. One song was always of interest to me on it. The other songs I all knew, but there's one song called Dark Dawn, and I never I was always trying to figure out, like, what song is that? Is that some other name they've given to it? And I never could figure it out because it just wasn't familiar. But a few years ago, I discovered it was actually a Duke Ellington composition that has nothing to do with Hawaii, but for whatever reason, they put it on their album and gave it a kind of dark Hawaiian arrangement. So Dark Dawn is whatever, Duke Ellington. Okay, that's all that was issued that I have as a full album. Now later on you'll see all sorts of compilations where there's like 2 or 3 songs from that session and 2 or 3 songs from another session, but that's what I have from the Big Sound full LP. I should have covered this one when we were doing the S's. Somehow I missed it. It's a budget label also, from a Hawaiian Paradise, or Aloha from a Hawaiian Paradise, I think they say on the label. Yeah, by the Surf Serenaders, and there's no such group. It's a made-up name, and it's a compilation of some songs by the Surfmen, who did Night on Exotic Island, and some from the 101 Strings Orchestra. That they've gotten these together and gave it the fake name of the Surf Serenaders. And I do like the cover on this one, yeah, it's pretty. Okay, now up an album that is very near and dear to my heart, I have to say. This is kind of embarrassing, really, but I'm going to discuss The Blue Lagoon, a 1980 movie with Christopher Atkins and, what's her name? Brooke Shields, yeah, Brooke Shields. Based on a short story, and the movie is actually kind of stupid if you've ever seen it. But it like profoundly affected me when I saw it in the theaters in 1980, and I went back to see it like 5 times or something, because the story is kind of lame, but the music is so, 2 things. The music is so beautiful. The soundtrack is by Basil Polidoris, who's done a lot of soundtracks. Yeah, Polidorus. Basil Polidorus, and beautiful, beautiful music. Just by itself, the music's gorgeous. The film is beautiful to look at. The cinematography, it was filmed in Fiji. Every shot, it's just like beautiful. You can't believe how pretty it is. And I just went back and watched it over and over and over again. I was in college at the time, just starting college, and it just for me, like, really reinforced this idea that I wanted to live in Hawaii, that I was in South Carolina, that I wanted to go there permanently, you know, really encouraged me. It actually, I was so, and a friend of mine that was watching it too, we both decided, hey, let's apply to college and go to college in Hawaii, partially as a result that we did it at that time of this film, because I just went back and saw it over and over again. I was like, I have got to go to those islands. I mean, that's just it. So I did apply, and I was accepted at college, and in 1981 I went to Hawaii Lower College. So really, this movie actually sort of had an impact on, not on my life in the sense I was going to Hawaii anyway, but at that time, I was really prompted by this movie that at that time to go, okay, while I was still in school, I'm going to go now. So, beautiful, beautiful soundtrack on this. Oh, there's the back cover. You know. Okay, and then lastly, I'm just going to talk for a minute about these 2. They are budget labels also, but the Blue Ribbon Orchestra, Aloha Hawaii. This is partially some of the Big Sound, you know, the albums I was showing you. It's a mixture, partially Big Sound and partially some other orchestra. I don't know who that did this. But you know what? I love the liner notes on some of these records, especially the budget labels really kind of went overload because they were really trying to sell you this album, you know, on the liner notes. The Blue Ribbon Strings, dedicated to beautiful music, plays these lovely and romantic melodies, almost caressing each note, soft and tender, the way the music of the island should be played. Aloha Hawaii is filled with exciting and sensuous music, which will leave you with a feeling of complete contentment long after it is over. The Blue Ribbon Strings have recorded one of their finest and most outstanding albums on Aloha Hawaii. They have produced a most delightful dish of pure ambrosia. I have to go turn this on right now. And then they did Jewels of the Sea, which also is just orchestral rehash of ocean-related songs, Jewels of the Sea. So that's it for today. Enjoyed those needle drops on those records, and that's it for today. If you enjoy this video, please press the like button, subscribe if you want to see more, and if you're interested in this kind of music, I do have a hobby online radio station called Hawaiian Hi-Fi. It's on Live 365. I'll put the link below in the description. You can listen anytime, 24 hours, 7 days a week. It's just for a hobby. I don't make any money from it or whatever, so you can just enjoy that. And I promise the next video on records, I will not have quite as much to say about each record, so we will go through more than we did today. But I had to get through that whole budget label thing. It kind of takes a while to explain that. Have a good week.